Do you like Severance? I have book recs for you. Please enjoy each book recommendation equally. The first book is The Employees. This is actually like a sci-fi kind of speculative fiction that takes place on a spaceship. It's kind of like short poems that are written as employee statements given to this spaceship's like HR. You're kind of trying to piece together what went wrong on this ship and why they are being interviewed in this way. And what I like so much about Severance is it doesn't hold your hand and like lay all the cards out on the table, which adds to that eerie kind of like cultish, mystical feeling that Lumen has as a company. The next recommendation I have for you is A Short Stay in Hell. This man dies and he's in the afterlife and he ends up in hell and he doesn't know why. So he's put into this library that has like millions of floors and millions of shelves of library, and every single wing of this library looks exactly the same. And the task to get out of this hell is to find a book that tells the story of your life from start to finish without any errors. But there are a couple problems that arise in this quest, and he soon realizes that this might be an impossible task, even if there is a finite number of books in this library. But I just thought like the eeriness of the setting and the uncanniness of the library and the interactions that he has in there reminded me of Severance a lot, and a lot of the themes as well. Next, I always recommend this one, but Piranesi, just because Severance is really fun with the lack of memory, because this character basically is in this labyrinth, again, a labyrinth, and he has no memory of how he got there or why he is there. I don't want to say more than that. It's very peculiar and it's very weird. It's about like existentialism, but it feels a little bit more hopeful than A Short Stay in Hell, I'd say that. Next one would be The Berry Giant by Kazuo Ishiguro. And this is also another one that plays with memory in a fun way, because there is this mist that is setting over this like medieval Arthurian inspired fantasy landscape, and no one can remember their past. Kind of this question of like, can your subconscious and those very visceral feelings of love and betrayal like override like the loss of memory? This which reminds me of Severance as well. Next, another one I recommend a lot is The Hike by Drew Magary, and I bring this up because it's an existential horror about this man who before a business meeting decides to go on a brief walk, and he ends up in a situation that ends up changing his life, and it is super, super wacky. But I think that Severance has this sort of like absurdist comedy about it, and this is like absurdist comedy, but also existential horror. It kind of plays with the idea of like agency in one's life, and like if things are deterministic, or if you're able to kind of like decide for yourself how your journey goes. Like that's something that comes up. And I do feel like in Severance, a big thing is the sense of agency that the innies have. And if there's like strings being pulled and you know, how many choices they can make that are actually like outside of this plan for them. I've been loving this sort of genre though. If anyone has any other recommendations for me.